Hi everyone, welcome to next section of our course. In this I'll show you how you can create your project in Android Studio. Since in my earlier videos I have already shown you how you can install and configure Android Studio with all the latest packages, so we are now good to start a new project in Android Studio. I'll tell you step by step how you can start a new project and execute it. So let's begin with this section. For this I have just opened an Android Studio. So this is the welcome screen which you can see. This is the welcome screen, and here as you can see, here is a button as a start a new Android project. Just click on this and you can see there are configure your new project. So there are certain elements which you need to fill up before creating your project. So first is the your application name. So you have to give a application name from here. So I'll just give a application name. Maybe I'll just give it as my first application. Next is the company domain name. It is nothing but is the field which actually defines the can be name of the or the domain of the actual company. But since this is not will be a real application, I'll not use a default company domain value. I'll use something like an example project is. So I'll just use a first dot maybe example dot my application. So this is how you can give a company domain name. So your application name will be appended to the reverse notation of your company domain to create a unique projects and package name that Android Studio will remember. So and then next is the project location directory. So as you can see, it has already given a default directory where your project files will be saved. You can change this workspace as well. I'll just try to change it so that you can understand in future if you want to change it how you can do it. Maybe I'll just in the D drive I'll just create a new folder, and I'll create project workspace. And then I'll select this and click on OK. So as you can see, this is the project workspace. And then I'll go to next. So here you can see there are different options. So different platform may require different SDK. So when I was configuring the SDK, as I told you, so for different mobile version you need different API, so you have to configure the SDK as per that. So here one is the for phone and tablet is given as the minimum SDK. So minimum SDK you have to choose. Minimum SDK means the app which will run on the minimum API version phone. So maybe 15, because now the currently the latest one is the Nougat. So one minimum we have to select where your app will execute. So if you are not aware of this, maybe there is a link which is already provided by Studio Android. You can click on this and you can just click on help me choose. So you can see over here what are the Android platform versions available and the API levels. So here you can see for Gingerbird it is the API level is 10, same is for Lollipop, Marshmallow. So these are all the API version which is available. So here we will select the API level as 15, that is for the Android 4.0 version phones, and the maximum we will take as, this is not given over here, we will take as for the Nougat phones. So it will execute in all the Nougat mobiles as well as on the Marshmallow devices. So I'll just click on OK. So this is just for your information purpose. Next will be here, it's given as the minimum SDK, it's fine. So if you want you can just select it, otherwise I'll just keep it as it is. And next, I'll click on next. Then here you can see there are some activities provided which will be added to your mobile once you create your project. So I'll select an empty activity from here and I'll just click on next. So you can see the first activity which will be created, or you can say the first project file, a source code file which will be created, is your main activity. So it is by default it is given as a main activity. If you want, you can change this name as a main activity, but I would prefer you keep this name as it is if you don't want. And then its main layout name is also given, its activity underscore main. So if you want, you can change it, else I'll keep it as it is. Then I'll just click on finish, and then it will take some time to the studio because this is for the first time, so it will take some time to create your first project. But from the next time onwards, whenever you create a new Android project, maybe it will take significantly less time. So this is how your project has loaded, and here you can see the structure which is there. Anyways, in the next section I'll tell you the complete structure, what all files are created, what all files are required, and how you can execute your first project on a device, emulator device. So for that we will create a AVD device in the Android Studio, as well as I will tell you how you can create it in the Genymotion emulator. So all this I'll take it in the next section. This was the primary section, how you can create your first project and see how it looks in the Android Studio. So thank you, and let's begin the next section. Thanks.